Today I'm going to talk about the first book in the Diviners series. This is the first one and it's called The Diviners and it's written by Libba Bray. O'Brien. I have to say that this book is amazing in on its own, but also how to say this. I think that I cannot rate it until I have read all the series because there's lots of things going on in this book. It's like it's planting the seeds for all the series. What I mean is there is a lot of characters and situations and things going on, and some of them are going to be resolved in this book, so it's autoconclusive in a way. But there's also lots of things that are going to be like, being shown and told, so in a way that you feel like many of the stories that are presented in this book are going to be solved in the next books. So we have different characters which are introduced in this one. Some of them have more screen time than others, but you can see that all of them are connected in some ways. The good guys, the bad guys, the in-between guys, so to speak. And yeah, I felt like, okay, I enjoyed this book, but I feel like I cannot rate it until I have seen all of them together, if it makes sense. In this book, we are going to find our main character, Evie, and she is a girl that comes from Ohio. She's a flapper, and she likes to party, and she likes to drink, and she seems to be like some kind of, at the beginning, at least for me, of superficial girl that only wants to have fun. But when you begin to meet her, you begin to see that she feels like she doesn't fit anywhere. So in a way, I think that this way of her being so ongoing and going to parties and getting drunk and all that, it's some way of saying, hey, here I am, look at me. Because she feels like the people don't look at her only to say, okay, this girl is too much. You know what I mean? Also, she has this strange ability. It's going to be told in the first chapters, in which she can see. If you give her an object, she can read the object and know things about you. So at the beginning of the book, she is drunk and she thinks that she's going to show this trick she can do as a party trick because, she wants to be the center of attention. And something happens and she has to be shipped away to New York. Her parents think that it's going to be like a way to make her think about the bad things that she's doing with her life. But she's ecstatic because she wants to go to Manhattan. She wants to see New York in the 1920s. And she is, wow, you know what I mean? And when she gets there, she meets with her uncle. And her uncle has a museum that it's called the Creepy Crawlers. It has a more complicated name, but everyone in New York thinks that, it's a creepy museum because it has lots of things of the supernatural world, and it has this amazing library and this complete lack of security whatsoever. So you can go there and you just walk through the door. Even if you want to steal things, you just go there. Yeah, I mean, that was something that bugged me because if you have all these amazing things inside the museum, it will make sense that you had some kind of security system. Okay, well, I know. But working for Will, there's this guy called Jericho, and Jericho has to be one of my favorite characters because from the beginning you can see that he has amazing potential to be an amazing character, and I'm not going to say much about him because, you get to discover it bit by bit during the book. And Evie also gets to meet Mabel. She is a friend that they have been friends since they were kids. And so, as I say, yeah, she's ecstatic. She's going to be doing all these fun things and she's going to go partying with Mabel. And, Mabel has the hots for Jericho and she's going to try to make them fit together and all of that. Only suddenly there begins to be like these killings. There's this serial killer and it looks like it's this serial killer is dabbing on the supernatural. So yeah, and there's talk about this group of people called the Diviners that they supposedly have to come, but what are they exactly? It seems like they are human beings with powers. What kind of powers? Who are they? So the book is going to be resolving about this idea of the murder with supernatural things. I'm not going to say much because it's got this thrillery vibe. I mean, you know who the killer is, but how are they going to stop him, because he is not exactly human. You see that in the first chapter. He's sort of raised up using a Ouija board. So yeah, and we also are going to have this other part discovering what is about the diviners and who could they be and all of that. And also we are going to find secondary characters, so to speak, Henry and Theta, that they seem to be like something else entirely. There's another character, a black guy called Memphis, with a little brother called Isaac, and I think all of them, in the beginning you see that all of them are going to be interwoven together. And as I say, there are lots of stories that get developing here. You know, Memphis has a healing gift, and his brother also has some kind of gift. And their stories get told in this book, but you can see that it's not ended when it ends. Also, Theta has like things to be told, which I'm not going to spoil for you, and Henry too. And I love this too. I think that about Jericho, they can be my two favorite characters. I love Theta. And yeah, there is lots of things going on in this book. And as I said, I feel like this book, it's like the first step onto the bigger story that the other three books are going to construct. And I feel it very strongly. What I mean by that is that you have other books in series and they are like autoconclusive. And when you get to a second one, the story expands or adds new characters. In this one, and this book, I think that the author had been, as I say, plotting the next steps, because there is lots of stories that are left like hanging there, and there is characters that you began to discover in the book that you at the beginning think that they were just like, you know, people there, like the blind guy Bill, and at the end you see that they have more to say about the story, and there is a lot of plots and things that began to be constructed in this one and just are left wide open. So yeah, I think that if you are interested in investing your time in reading these four books, pick the first one, because I think, as I say, that you will need to read the other three in order to get this global vision of this story, or at least that's how I feel. But it's a very sound book. It can stand it can stand on its own because it closes the main story. But like I say, there is all these stories there that are just cute to be, you know, told in the following books. So expect, because I want to know more about Theta, and I want to know more about Henry and about Memphis, because I kind of love him in a way. I know he's a very interesting character, and I love how the author also brings to attention things that happened in the 1920s with America, with the Ku Klux Klan, with people of color, with eugenics, and all of those things that were really happened. And she integrates them in the book and makes you think about them and about what humanity gets away with. And it's like all sentence that I have said previously on other reviews, that the bigger monster out there are humans, and you are going to have ghosts, and you are going to have, you know, all kind of supernatural things here, but as always, our human beings are presented also as their own kind of monsters, because the Ku Klux Klan, I mean, eugenics, just getting to breed humans only so, you know, that society can get able-bodied working class and not just feeble-minded or people with defects that following their idea don't give anything back to society, which is crazy. And yeah, it's going to make you think about lots of things while enjoying it. So yeah, it's like almost 600 pages, and I think it's a very good book, a very solid book. And now I need to know how the story continues. So I think that the author did a great job of presenting all the things in here. One thing though, at the beginning it can be a bit overwhelming because there is a lot of slang, and the way in which Evie talks at the beginning of the book, it really got on my nerves because there were a lot of stupid, for me, expressions. But while the book progresses, they get more, you know, I don't know if I got used to them or they kind of get erased, but just keep on reading because it gets to a point in which it's amazing and you cannot let it down. I have to say also that it's a very descriptive book, but not in the way of, look, this street, it has like, I don't know how many lines, or no, but it describes lots of things that fit in the story, and later on, most of them are going to be used. So yeah, that was all. So yeah, pick it up because it's quite an entertaining read, and as I say, it's going to make you invested in the other books of the series. So thank you for watching. Bye!